Hey guys, it's Kiriam here again, and today in this video I'm going to show you how you can make dark progressive house from scratch. Basically for this video I thought about making something like more dark vibes and aggressive, because the previous tutorial series were about how to make progressive house, but basically it was more like happy, uplifting, so you know, different vibes and also a bit different sound design. So in this part I'm going to make the drop, and in the second part I'm gonna make the break, and in the third episode I'm going to master the whole stuff and finalize the whole track. Alright, I already opened FL Studio and I made some chord progression and melody just to make the process more quick. Here is how it sounds. I think this melody and chord progression is going to be good, because it's like, you know, a bit more, I don't know, dark vibes, as you can tell. And yeah, let's start with the leads already. And as you notice from the previous series or videos, I always love to, you know, just color and make everything clean, because, I don't know, it helps the workflow for me. Okay, let's copy the melody, and the first lead is gonna be Salvation main lead. I used this in my previous release. This layer is like mono-ish and gives energy, power to the lead stack. Also good to have a mono-ish lead or 100% mono lead. And the second layer is gonna be Nexus. And maybe you guessed it already, I'm gonna use the Menatron sound. It just works always, so we gotta use it. Turning off the second layer, the third sound gonna be... I think this dark cello sound gonna work. Usually I use a bell sound, but I don't know, for now I'm just gonna use this. Okay, so I added this soul layer. And now I will try to find a layer which gives a tag basically. Okay, this layer sounds good for the attack. Just added another soul layer and maybe one more lead layer, which helps with the whole energy. Okay, so I just found this lead layer, which gives some, I don't know, maybe more energy and uniqueness to the stack, because it sounds a bit weird maybe. But I like when I play the whole stuff, so... And maybe one more layer if I found something good. Okay, I just found this high octave layer, which also gives energy and width to the lead stack. And now I'm adding the leads to the mixer, and I'm gonna do the mix basically. Okay, the volume mixing is done. And now it's time to add an EQ to the lead bus. We don't need any information under 200 Hz. The second effect gonna be Soothe. And this preset, basically I always add this preset because I like it and it works for me. Next effect is going to be the reverb. And for this I have a preset saved. It's a bit messy now, but I'm gonna use peak controller, and I'm gonna control the volume of the leads basically with this. So for this we have to link the controller, choosing this one, putting it in inverted. Okay, so I had to put the low cut on the reverb at 650 Hz, and now it sounds way more clean. And I like this technique because this way you don't have to make, you know, an automation clip at the end of the drop, or if you just want, you know, a reverb fade out. It's automatic now, and also when the notes are playing, the reverb is taming basically, so it works good. I advise you to use this technique with similar settings. And now it's time to make the stereo image. And for this, I always use the Through the Stereo Enhancer, or basically any plugin. There is S1 stereo control, I think. I have A1 stereo control. There are many plugins which you can use for this, but make sure to put it before the reverb. Basically, as you can see, we wanna aim for this range. So the leads are kinda good now, maybe a bit wide. Okay, I think the leads are sounding good now. I added Simplon for the automation later on, which I'm gonna use for the build up and also maybe mid drop, end drop, you know. It's just good to have some filter for automations, and also I'm gonna use kickstart as always basically. Okay, nice, sounds good. For the build-up part, I cut off the sidechain and also mid-drop, and at the end of the drop as well. Okay, good, and I noticed the reverb is maybe not enough, so I'm gonna give it a bit more. Also, I think we need this small EQ here because this frequency is popping up a bit too much. Okay, nice. And as a last step, harmonic maximizer, because I like to use this VST a lot. I like to use it because it glues well the whole lead stack, so I only use it for my leads, but you have to be careful with it if you use it, because it also it works like a compressor basically, so it's gonna cut out some transient, or you know, the plug basically is a bit more controlled now, a bit tamed, so it's not peaking too much, and you want to have some attack, but I think here I nailed it. You still hear the clicks, the attack from the plug. So yeah, I think it works now. And now it's time for the saw chords. Before moving forward, I wanted to show you my technique. Basically, it's just a small touch, but I think it works well for drop and even breaks if you want to try. It's just copying these middle notes in your chords and then copying and putting it one octave up. So it's gonna be a bit more full for your chords. This is how the first layer sounds. We need this crunchy, aggressive layer, I don't know how to call it. Almost always using this sound for my tracks. Here is the second layer. It's a bit more chill compared to the previous one, but I like the warmth of it. And now maybe one or two layers. For some movement, I added this layer. And I'm gonna add another one. And this is the last layer, the well-known preset. Okay, now time to mix the saw chords. Great, the saw chords are mixed. And the first step I'm doing is adding OTT at 30%, I think, around that. Second step is an EQ. And I'm keeping the EQ at 180 just to keep some warmth in the drop. Now I'm using my favorite VST again, the synth mix cleanup preset. And we have two more steps. One is adding Simplon for the automation. Great. And also as a last step, We need the sidechain from kickstart, and yeah, at 90% I'm gonna keep it like this, I think. I'm gonna cut out some highs from the chords, just to make some space for the leads here. I think it sounds good so far, and now time for my favorite part, is the mid bass. Nothing crazy with the first preset, is just a soul bass which I like to use. The second layer is a bit more mono-ish, and it also gives, like, you know, the bass needs to be a bit more mono than the leads and the chords, and also it gives energy for the basses. As you can hear, the third layer gives some movement. So yeah, I like how this sounds. And maybe one more layer to feel the frequencies. The last bass layer is like a Reese type of layer, which gives energy, and as the preset name says, power, basically. Let's add the basses to the mixer and mix them real quick. The mixing is done, and now I'm opening up an EQ. The low cut's gonna be around 140 because I'm gonna high cut the sub bass at 140, and also I'm adding this type of high cut to the basses just to leave the space for leads, and maybe I'm boosting the mids a bit here. Now my favorite VST and melodic bass control. Also when I do a bass, I like to add some effect, and wow helps with this. So this VST is like makes the bass a bit more talking. Something like this gonna work. Also I'm adding sausage fat thinner, making it a bit more fat. Okay, and two more steps. One is the kickstart, which is with the mid chain preset, and also the Simplon for the automation purposes. One more step which I just did is edit Camel Crusher and British Clean preset, because this VST adds some compression distortion for the sound, and now it's more stable, works better with the stuff. As you can hear, it sounds good so far. I love this drop. And now time to add a sub bass, which is gonna be very simple. I use the same preset always, basically. Nothing special, it's just the same preset I shared with you guys already. And in the meantime, I already opened up an EQ, and as I said, I'm gonna make a high cut for the sub bass here at 140 Hz. Also before the EQ, I'm adding R bass mono and around 60 Hz. Also adding Soothe with the melodic bass control preset. And now one more step is the kickstart sidechain and this sub bass chain preset, and also making automation. I think we can do this for the end drop, so it's gonna be a bit more different than in the mid drop. I like how it sounds, happy with the sound design, so now I'm gonna add some, you know, drums, some kick, clap, hi-hats, also some downlifters, ambiances, so let me just do this real quick. This is gonna be the kick. And real quick, I'm gonna mix it with the sub. Also, I'm adding a right sound, which is playing the same rhythm as the leads. Here is the lead attack ride, and I added the kickstart with this preset, so it removes the transient, like the little click, and it won't clash with the kick. Alright guys, I'm back. I did many work on the drums. Basically I did the kick, claps, some ride sounds, hi-hat, downlifters, ambience sounds, fills, and also an impact. So now I'm gonna play the whole stuff. I think it sounds good, but now let's listen to what we have. Yes, it's a sick foundation. I love it already. And I can't wait to continue in the next episode where I'm gonna do the break. So yeah, this was pretty much it for this first episode of how to make dark progressive house. I hope you guys liked it and learned something new from it. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments and like the video if you enjoyed watching it. I hope you have a nice day. Bye.